Hello, everyone. My name is Tavana Bounds, and I am going to be talking about school psychology today. As we all know, we are all in school, but school psychology can go way more than just school psychology. We do have different schools. You have middle school, high school, college, and other programs as well. But today, I want to focus on the ethical issue of dual relationships. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of dual relationships before, but I'm going to break it down for you today. So, I have my own definition. I wrote my notes down, so I'm going to get started with that. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so a dual relationship is having more than one relationship with a client or a student. So that is pretty much like a short definition of a dual relationship. So I'm going to give a few examples of a dual relationship, which, yeah, there are some that goes on in this world. Um, I witnessed it myself, but we will talk about that later on in the video. So, some examples of a dual relationship. Pretty much, if a student has access to something that the other classmate doesn't have access to when it comes to a teacher or a professional, then that is kind of like a dual relationship. And it could be something as simple as going to get lunch with your teacher, or going to the movies, or just something simple. It doesn't always have to be a sexual thing, although there are dual relationships that are sexual, and I do not recommend them, and I'm sure that a lot of people don't. But it doesn't have to be sexual. It could just be something small, or extra something to with a student and a teacher or a professional or whatever. Is something extra. These relationships are risky, and they can affect your professional boundaries. So what I mean by that is, you are, as a professional or as a teacher, or anyone that's like a mentor, basically, in the school setting or out the school setting, you are putting what you work for at risk, your name at risk, everything about you at risk, because of a relationship with a student or a client that is kind of not appropriate. And like I said, it doesn't have to be something like obvious, like a bomb just exploded and bam, you got caught. It could be something small, like body language, or just touching a student, the way you touch the student, not sexual, but something that is just not normal. And those could be like signs that, hey, something else is going on. Or just say, for instance, if you have a female student and a female teacher that you see, and they're giggling about something, and the rest of the class is just looking like, hey, they are really close, they have something like a relationship going on. Doesn't have to be sexual, but they can have like a tight bond. And that's like a clue to the other classmates that, hey, they're obviously like are talking or texting, or because they're close. Like, I'm in the classroom with this person as well. How come I'm not as close to Miss Apple or something? Miss Apple, like Banana is something. But as I said before, these relationships are risky, and they can affect a professional's boundaries. So these acts are dangerous, and they can like cause a big effect in a therapeutic relationship. So like I said, it doesn't have to be in a school setting. It can also be like anywhere, pretty much. Like, yeah, pretty much anywhere. I can give another example. Let's just say a school counselor or school therapist meets their students, and they let it known that, hey, the students can text them after hours and let me know if you need me to come take you to the store, or things of that nature. It might be with the greatest intentions, but you would never know what could go wrong. So let's just say that the counselor gets with the student after hours. So let's just say that the student called the counselor, hey, can you take me to the store? Something innocent, something minor, and something simple. So let's just say that the counselor picks up the student and takes him to the store. But on the way to the store, there's a huge wreck that the two individuals got in. And people are going to be there, people just to help, polices, ambulance, everyone's going to be there. And it gets reported that, hey, this student and this professor or whoever were going to the store and this and that and the third. And the question is going to be why? Why are these two together? Or this, that. And it could be something simple, but it looks like something that's huge and that could cause conflict in a situation. So it's just best to avoid it as a whole. And like I said before, and plenty of times, it doesn't have to be sexual. It's just something that is very risky, and that student and that therapist has more than one relationship than what they supposed to have. So, it's just other things that can go along with having a dual relationship. Like I said, it could be something minor, like going out to eat with your professor, or having late night calls, late night texts, anything after hours with your professor, and just basically anything that you don't supposed to be doing or that the other classmates can't do as well as a whole is pretty much unacceptable. Like I said, me myself, I have witnessed this with a student and a professor. Of texting after hours, or they were able to have quicker access to the teacher. We see what's going on, and that's not fair. Like, they will be in class just giggling, and or we see them in class laughing and we don't get the joke, and then we actually saw the girl, she showed us the messages and kind of told us. So it went from there. So it can start off with a simple email. It can start off with a simple message or a call, and it goes from there. So what I'm saying is that if during relationships or something minor can turn into something big and something that could just ruin a person's reputation, whether if it's a teacher or student. And when I was in high school, that had occurred as well with a teacher and a student. It was something sexual, and I don't recommend it. I hope nobody recommends it, but that had a major effect on that person's reputation. And that professor, we haven't seen her since then, and that I was in 10th grade maybe. So just cut it off. Just have one relationship with your clients, your students, with the professors, whoever, somebody in a professional setting, in your school, in the health, sports psychology. Just have that one relationship and things will be avoided. A lot of things will be avoided. Okay, so some questions that I kind of just came up with and to ask you guys, and maybe you can answer them too, is one is, how could this behavior or these acts can be avoided? What could be done about this? And when I was asking myself, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think much could be done to avoid these issues from happening. And the reason why I say that, and you guys may disagree, but the reason why I say it is because nowadays it's so easy to hide things. You have the text app to where you can message people without using your numbers, or you can delete messages or have secret codes or something. I don't know, but it's how could you really stop this act from happening? So that leads me to my second decision. You may not necessarily be able to stop it, but you can try to block it. And what I mean by that, and I'm sure that schools do have this, I don't know them by heart, but they can have certain protocols or policies. When I was in high school, the only reason or the only way that teacher and that student got caught was because the student had the big mouth. He was the big guy. He was that guy in high school because he had that going on with the professor. So that's pretty much the only way that something could be done, is if someone says something. But if not, then how would they know? Another question is, how does the act occur? Which I kind of already answered that. These acts actually start by something simple. Like I said, it could be a simple text, call, email, or whatever, and it just goes from there. But I feel like as a professional, and you being the older person and you have the most knowledge, the bigger person, they should be the one to put a stop to it. Hey, no, I'm busy after hours. I will email you when I can, or We can set up a meeting in my office when we can, and don't like allow that extra hand to start something that doesn't need to be started in the first place by giving them your personal numbers. I would say to give them like I said, a business phone number or something of that nature to cut off all of ties of starting a dear relationship. Thank you guys, and yeah, thank you.